Hello, in this video, we'll go over a go-to-market strategy for one of the biggest fintech companies called Revolut. It's worth $20 billion. But before we get started, I'd like to give you one of my best analogies what go-to-market strategy entails. Well, in my humble opinion, go-to-market strategy is like playing chess while being blindfolded. And you're not just playing against one opponent, you're playing blindfolded against all your competitors, who for the most part are also blindfolded. Well, what Segmentable does is we'll rip this blindfold off your face so you can have hints. Just like with chess, when you play with a computer or you analyze the game, it will give you hints. Okay, you make this move. So that's what Segmentable does. What we will start with, just like with any go-to-market strategy, is selecting the right customer personas. There could be a ton of them. Digital nomads, young professionals, boomers, etc., parents with young children. Well, for fintech companies, we identified 9 biggest ones. And the one criterion that we used is the size of the market, right? It should be large enough for you to get the market share, to start building a business that's big enough. So out of these 9 that we've identified, 4 were the biggest ones, right? So that's what we will focus on. The next step is to identify how you're going to target these customer personas. That you can do social, organic social, paid search, Google Ads, and etc., or TikTok, and go viral. Everybody wants to go viral. By the way, normally, or before Segmentable, before artificial intelligence came around, you would have to conduct maybe 10 or 15 customer development interviews. And in order to do those, you probably have to read a book called The Mom Test. It's a very interesting book, and not to spoil it, but basically you cannot ask your potential customers a question like you would ask your mom. For example, Mom, what do you think about me starting this startup? Well, no, you should ask her not direct questions, right? So not to give it away. You don't want to give your customers away what are you building. You just need to understand how they would answer these questions without knowing what you're trying to build, because then they're gonna try to be nice to you just like your mom. Oh yes, honey, you should always go after your dreams and build whatever you want, right? You want to get non-biased answers. There are a ton of channels of acquisition. Segmentable helped us select the most effective ones. Out of all of them that we see here, it selected 8 top ones that you can use to acquire this particular customer personas. Next step is to identify your top competitors. And if you are a startup founder, you will have to add that to your pitch deck. And as you can see here, we have identified all the competitors. But how do you know which one is closer to what you're doing versus the other ones? Well, again, Segmentable helped us identify the percentage of correlation between what fintech company Revolut is doing and the other companies that you can see here on this slide. The next step is to understand how homogeneous are the competitors against each other. And as you can see here, some of them have much better or closer correlation with each other than others. And the reason why we do this is because we want to put them in clusters. And the idea behind it is that when you are developing your product roadmap, you want to target the biggest size of the market, right, in terms of clustering them together. So you're not just going after just one customer persona, but you can go you can build a feature to go after several biggest customer personas, right? And in this case, we can see that expatriates and families with overseas relatives is the cluster that we should focus on. Now let's talk about red and blue ocean theory of marketing, right? Traditionally, or the way I thought about it after reading the book, is that you use something like Cirque du Soleil, right? They limited the animals, and they built a business that with much higher profit margins, right? That's what the blue ocean is. Everybody else is competing in the red ocean. You uncovered blue ocean, and that's where you just taken advantage of the opportunity. Well, it's not always the case. In this particular situation, blue ocean is limited to just very small size of the market where there isn't that much money to be made. So blue ocean and red ocean, we can talk about it in a separate video and really dive deep into that. But for our particular situation, in this particular case, Revolut should focus on a much more of a red ocean, right? One of the key things to do when you're developing your go-to-market strategy is to understand where your ideal customer personas are sitting in terms of the technology adoption cycles. Because if it's innovators or early adopters, you should feature different things than if it's early majority or later majority. A good example of it is that early adopters or innovators would pay more versus a late majority or early majority looking for a much more affordable solution. So you really need to understand, once you've settled into your customer personas, at what stage they're at right at this moment, okay? And that's will also help you identify what should be your pricing options. And as far as setting the right price, Revolut should offer and focus on offering value versus competing on the lowest price. Besides setting the right price for your segment of the market, you should also understand how you should position yourself, right? And in this particular example, reliability and security, convenience and accessibility, technological leadership, and proven effectiveness is what this particular company should offer in order to satisfy the demands of the early majority. Before I let you guys go, I'd like to finish up by giving you another analogy and what the go-to-market strategy is. Think of Google Maps, and let's suppose you not just going from point A to point B, but let's say you need to add a gas station on the way, and then you want to go to a liquor store or return some items at Nordstrom. Doesn't matter. Well, every time you add an additional stop, what happens is that your direction will change. So the same thing happens with go-to-market strategy. Your final destination should be the highest lifetime value and the lowest cost of acquisition. But in order to get there, you need to add a few stops along the way. Customer personas, channels of distribution, set the right price, and offer the right features, develop the right features, position yourself correctly depending on what technology adoption cycle is your segment of the market. Well, if you add them all up, you will have a myriad of different options, right? And that's where Segmentable comes into play. It helps you identify the leanest, cheapest cost of acquisition with the highest lifetime value. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and sign up to this channel, and we will be analyzing more companies like that. And if you would like to have one of your companies featured in this type of video where we break it down, please leave a comment with the name of the company, and please add the URL, and we'll develop a similar pitch deck or a deck like we showed here in this video and go over this company. Again, thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye.